Good afternoon, I'm Alexandra Atag and I will be presenting my course project. The topic I chose is planning and effective load test. What is load testing? Load testing is the process of simulating a large number of users accessing an application or system to test its performance under load. It is an important part of software testing as it can help to identify performance bottlenecks and ensure that the application can handle the expected load. Effective load testing requires careful planning. The following are some of the key considerations for planning a load test. Identify the goals of the load test. What do you want to achieve by load testing the application? Do you want to identify performance bottlenecks? Do you want to test the scalability of the application? Once you know the goals of the load test, you can start to plan the specific tests that you need to run. Define the workload. What is the expected load that the application will be under? How many users will be accessing the application? What types of transactions will they be performing? The workload defines the parameters of the load test, such as the number of users, the duration of the test, and the types of transactions. Choose the right tool. There are a number of load testing tools available, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. The right tool for you will depend on the specific needs of your load test. Next, create a test plan. The test plan is a document that outlines the goals of the load test, the workload, the tools that will be used, and the specific tests that will be run. The test plan is an essential part of planning a load test as it helps to ensure that the test is well organized and executed effectively. Effective load testing requires careful planning. The following are some of the key considerations for planning a load test. Execute the load test. Once the test plan is complete, you can start to execute the load test. This involves running the test and collecting the performance data. Next, analyze the results. The results of the load test need to be analyzed to identify any performance bottlenecks or issues. The results can also be used to make recommendations for improving the performance of the application. Planning and effective load tests. Planning and effective load tests is an important part of software testing. By carefully planning the load test, you can ensure that it is effective and that the results are useful. Here are some additional tips for planning and effective load tests. First, start with a small load test and gradually increase the load. This will help you to identify any performance bottlenecks early on. Run the load test multiple times to ensure that the results are consistent. Use a variety of tools to collect performance data. This will give you a more complete picture of the application's performance. Involve stakeholders in the load test planning process. This will help to ensure that the test meets the needs of the business. Load testing can be a complex and time-consuming, but it is an essential part of software testing. By following these tips, you can plan an effective load test that will help you to ensure the performance of application.